Singh Dhesi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. An honour and a privilege to be participating in such a historic debate. But given the time limit, I'll drive straight in. Let me start by saying what an utter disgrace it is that the government tried to hold back its legal advice from Parliament on a decision of such magnitude. And we now know why. With regards to the backstop, it clearly shows that Northern Ireland has been sold out. The government has lost the trust, not just of the DUP, but the wider British public. They have reneged on their solemn promise. The House had to force ministers to change their minds and release the legal opinion. What an utterly ridiculous situation. This whole Brexit process has been blurred, botched and bungled from the very start. Has ever so much diplomatic and political capital been expended for so little result? With every passing day and each resigning minister and each international snub and rebuff, it has become ever clearer that the Prime Minister and her team, and I use the term lightly, are not up to the task. Her entire negotiation tactics, as has been illustrated by honourable and right honourable members before me, has been to the appeasement of hardliners within her own party. I need hardly remind the House that this kind of craven acquiescence on the part of her predecessor is the reason why we have been landed in this entire mess in the first place. Instead of patiently assembling a cross-party alliance, a coalition of support for her plan, the Prime Minister has created division and discord. And the social and economic consequences will echo long after the votes have been counted. And this is an issue, Mr. Speaker, which has been exercising many within my constituency who are very, very anxious indeed. Since the publication of the agreement, up to yesterday evening, I have received scores of emails from Slough constituents, more than 94% imploring me to vote against the Prime Minister's deal. I think that is fairly emphatic. I am a supporter of the EU. I wanted the EU to remain in the EU, and now I want us to have a very close and collaborative relationship with our neighbours. And the world's economy has never been more interconnected, more dynamic, and that's why, as nation-states, we must form alliances to ensure that we have a very strong and stable relationship going forward, hopefully a lot more strong and stable than this crumbling government. Now, after 2 years, we face a much more dangerous situation, and of course it is not just a matter of macroeconomics and geopolitics, it's a matter for real families, real businesses and real working people. When I meet business leaders in my Slough constituency, they tell me the same things, that businesses need a stable economic environment, a backdrop, but this withdrawal agreement leaves businesses facing years of uncertainty. And when I talk to trade unions in my Slough constituency, they tell me the same thing. The government's deal tears up decades of negotiated deals around workplace safety and conditions. And many on the benches opposite actually oppose the European Social Charter in the first place and would happily see it scrapped. And that's why the likes of myself cannot see, as we've already heard in the debate, that this crumbling government is their own analysis, by the way, Mr. Speaker, shows that the economy will be 3.9% smaller. And many of us can now also not afford the hard Brexit and amendments that have been tabled, which I fully support. And also, I cannot support the government's withdrawal agreement. I think that the party opposite have failed spectacularly to deliver Brexit, and that's why they must stand aside for a general election.